Hi, it's Rye. I wanted to send a quick message to thank everyone who supported me during the U.S. Senate campaign. And it was a lot of fun and really set up the groundwork for what we are trying to do in 2020. I think by then there will be a very big interest around the country and here in the Mountain State to get an independent elected both to the U.S. Senate and the House and in other offices around the country. Um, what I learned from all this is that there are a lot of pressing issues that need to be addressed. And while we are looking ahead to 2020 to build a real campaign and get on the ballot for the U.S. Senate and build a coalition that is um, across all party lines, from independents to Democrats, Republicans, Mountain Party, Libertarian Party, everybody. We have 2 years to do that, and I'm not sure we can wait that long to address some of the things that need to be dealt with. So I'm looking at January when we have a speaker's election for the U.S. House. Right now, there are a few races that have still yet to be called, but the media have generally said that the Democrats have a majority. And while that is the case, the choice for speaker is still unclear, as there is no consensus for who that should be. Right now, the former speaker, Nancy Pelosi, has announced that she has a desire for the job, and there's also a vocal group of people who have vowed to choose someone else. Now, they don't have a candidate yet, and so I have come up with an option for them, and we'll show you a video in just a second about that. On the Republican side, they did have a leadership election today between two people, Kevin McCarthy and Jim Jordan. Um, the current majority leader, McCarthy, did win that leadership post, but Jim Jordan made a significant um, uh, effort and got a lot of support on his end. It just shows that both around the country, within the Congress, and within the parties, there is no real unifying force to bring everybody together and work on the various serious matters that need to be addressed. And I think what is needed is an independent person, someone that is actually not even in the U.S. House. And the Constitution does not require the Speaker of the House to be a member of the House. It can be any U.S. citizen. And so I'm presenting an option in the following video. And hey, I welcome anybody else who maybe isn't in the House but thinks that they could bring together a coalition to jump in this race and have some fun with it. Because while my video after this has some lightheartedness to it in my attempt to both um, react to Nancy Pelosi's announcement, her colorful announcement, but also give a little shout out to our friends um, who are battling with various issues. This week, I went to an event for a special person who is fighting breast cancer, and generally known a generally known way to show your support for those fighting um, is to wear pink. So I'm following in the former speaker's um, leadership on that, and trying to match her decor as best I can. But I do take a serious tone with the video, and then I follow my announcement video with a direct address to the 435 members of the House who will be voting in January. So if you're in and around Washington this week, be safe in the weather, and I look forward to seeing where this takes us. And either way, 2020 is not that far away, and in between now and then, there's a lot we can do to advance freedom and fairness here in West Virginia and around the country, and finally, get to a place where we can start having some fun and looking at the really wonderful things we could do in this country, rather than constantly focusing on fixing what seems to be a never-ending list of problems. So, thank you again for your support and your advice and listening during the 2018 campaign, and I look forward to whatever comes next. My fellow citizens, now that we've had a few days to get over the election, we must turn our attention to January when the U.S. House chooses its next speaker to preside over the session from 2019 until 2021. So far, no consensus choice has emerged.
And given the current climate in Washington and the state of emergency out in the country, I believe it is time for new leadership. I'm not alone. There are many within the House that are not supporting the various candidates for Speaker. And while, like many of you, I have chosen not to get involved in politics because the situation, the culture, the unwillingness to compromise, the focus on politics over policy, partisanship over citizenship, Democrat and Republican instead of right and wrong, freedom and fairness. I'm offering myself as a citizen Speaker of the House, someone that is from outside the membership, someone who is an independent, who can listen, who is committed to working to advance freedom and fairness around America with smart policy and effective action toward our common goals. I can work with the President, I can work with the Senate, I can work with the individual members of the House. There is some emergency action we do need to take that I believe we should act on immediately or as soon thereafter. We need to stop the madness that has paralyzed the nation's capital, that has affected the culture of our country, our people, our children, our neighbors, and the planet. I'm a candidate for Speaker who will work to stop taxing our people as individuals. We should stop taxing our jobs. We are trying to create jobs. It makes no sense to tax jobs. We can do this temporarily for 3 years. And while we're at it, we need to stop the drug war. It is a waste of money. It is ineffective. And it's time to move on to a new approach that values life, enhances liberty, and gives everyone a chance at their right to pursue a happy existence. We must stop interfering in the health and wellness of our citizens. Beyond that, there's a lot of fun things we can do, and I look forward to focusing on them after we address the most pressing matters. Whether I'm Speaker or you, or whoever takes that chair, just remember who's boss and represent yourself wherever and whenever you can. Do whatever it takes to be who you can be. Thank you for listening. I hope I have your support. You certainly have mine. And peace be with you and your families. And if we don't meet again before the holidays, enjoy yourselves and look forward to the good things coming here in this great country of ours. Let's keep it that way.
Hello, I'm Rye. I'm a candidate for Speaker of the U.S. House of Representatives. I wanted to follow up my announcement message with a direct video addressed to the members of the House. I know you may have questions about what kind of policies I might pursue as Speaker and what kind of operations you might expect under my leadership. I've offered a brief emergency plan to address the immediate concerns that we have in the country. And beyond that, I am open to listening to you as we move forward over the next 2 years to advance freedom and fairness in the United States of America. Right now, I want to address the issues of administrative matters. I want you to know that as Speaker, I will be an independent, nonpartisan citizen speaker who can listen to all voices within the House and across the country. My hope is to bring regular order to the House and allow for the large incoming freshman class to bring with it the messages from the campaign trail. I want all of you to be able to tell your constituents that they have been heard, that their concerns matter, and that we are active in our pursuit of addressing those issues. In terms of leadership, I understand that I cannot do everything alone, and will look to provide a consistent and stable transition from the way things have been going into a new era. I realize that leadership discussions are already underway and campaigns for various candidates for Speaker have been announced. I respect everyone's right and desire to lead. That's why, as an independent Speaker, I will look to the party caucus elections in choosing my leadership team for the Speaker's Council. This council will be made up of 6 individuals. The top 2 vote getters in each party caucus leadership election for leader, and 2 freshman representatives from the incoming class. One to be elected by the entire freshman, regardless of party, and the other to be elected by the entire House. My hope is to bring a balanced approach to addressing the very serious matters that America faces right now. As I said in my announcement video, I can work with anybody. I can work with the President and look forward to doing it. I can work with the Senate, and I can work with each of you. Whether you work with me, that's up to you. While I am an outsider and an average citizen living here on Main Street, listening and learning about what's going on, I do have experience working in Washington, living there. I think I bring a balanced approach of experience both inside and outside of the political system. I believe my approach to leadership is exactly what we need on Capitol Hill. And I believe that I properly represent the vast majority of Americans, many of whom did not participate in this election, many of whom still do not feel they have proper representation in Washington. And it's time we all come together to make sure that America can be great and is great. Thank you for listening. As you spend the next month or so deciding who you will support in January, I hope you will consider this as an option. Happy Thanksgiving, and I look forward to meeting you in the coming days and weeks ahead.